Welcome back, boys and girls. I know in the last video it was the bottom end build for my 2J. I said I was going to film some more, but I didn't end up doing it. So we're here back now with a knocking bottom end, unfortunately. Well, that's what it seems like it is. Long story short, the car made 507 kilowatt, did 1300 kilometers on it, and she's knocking. So basically we've got to pull out the motor and see what's going on in there. Hopefully it's just bearings and I can slap a new set in, but we need to get to the cause, or we need to find out what the cause of it was, because obviously we don't want it happening again. I don't want to pull this thing out a third time. So we're gonna get into pulling this out and see what's going on. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chuck you guys on the tripod and I'm gonna get the front bumper off, because I don't really want to end up scratching it up and damaging it any more than we really have to. We shouldn't have to damage it, but yeah, I'm gonna get that bumper off and push the car out a bit so we got more space, because obviously we're not working with too much space in here. So I'm gonna push the car out a bit, air it up, and get this bumper off. Alright, so I got the car raised up and pushed out a bit. Basically the bumper on these cars is pretty easy. You just got two nuts and a bolt on each side, and then you got four bolts on the front on the top. So I just got a few, it's just, they're all 10 mils. I've got a ratcheting wrench and a few extensions, so we'll get this out real quick. Alright, all the side bolts are undone, the nuts on the side. Now all we got to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this bumper will come off. Alright, as you can see, the bumper's off. I'm going to chuck this somewhere to the side for now, and then we'll get on to I think the next thing I want to do is get this battery undone and start pulling off the intake manifold. So we'll move on to that next. Let's get onto the battery. We're going to take out the battery. I mean, the battery is straightforward, man. It's a couple 10 mils, so it's really nothing. We're going to undo the positive and the negative. I think negative first. Apparently that's what's best. And then we'll get this whole battery out. We'll get the battery tray out of the way, because it's the only way to really get to the upper intake manifold bolts easily. We'll need that out of the way because I want to take out the motor assembly basically all together. Like, I want to keep on the turbo and everything, all the hot side. We just need to take off the intake manifold so that I can get to the loom. Most of the loom, I've got to unplug the loom, and yeah, that's mainly where it is, hidden underneath the intake manifold. So we'll get this off. The next thing I want to do is I think I want to undo all the vacuum lines going to the intake manifold and get this intercooler piping out of the way, and then we can get on to undoing all those manifold bolts. Yeah, I've got 3 vacuum lines going to the back of the manifold there, and then this intercooler pipe. Then I can unplug the drive-by-wire connector, and that should be basically it to get that out. So move on to that bit now. All the vacuum lines are sorted. I'm just going to get this intercooler piping out of the way now as well. So I'll undo the drive-by-wire connector first. Put that over there. Loosen this up. Turn it out of the way. Right, there's that cooler pipe out of the way. Alright, I'll show you for the intake manifold real quick. I think there's 7 bolts. Got one there, they got all along there, and there's a couple of hidden ones just underneath. Alright, this intake manifold, all the bolts are out now, except for one sitting in there because there's no clearance to get it out. But according to my calculations, it should just lift out now with no dramas. As long as it's all out. Oh, this one's still slightly in there. Oh, I think it's out now. There we go. There's the intake manifold out. Oh, there's a gasket. Alright, let me put this to the side. I'm going to just mask off this lower intake manifold as well, because I don't want to get any crap in there. Just to be safe. Alright, so I've got the entire engine loom is out now. Everything that was on the turbo side. The loom on the turbo side's out. There was the coolant temp sensor, the alternator, the crank sensor, and the max solenoid. They're all undone. The injectors are done. AC compressor, NOx sensors, everything engine wise is undone except for the injectors, but that's a sub loom. I mean, not the injector, sorry, the coils. That loom can stay in because it disconnects from the main loom anyway. So I've got the entire engine loom all tucked away here. The transmission is still all connected loom wise, because I want to try and leave that in the car. I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle that yet, because it will try to tip forward when the engine's out. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do about that side of things yet, but we'll figure that out as we go, I guess. One thing I did notice is the cam sensor on the head. It's got oil in the connector port. So I don't know if that's leaking oil internally, because it also got into the connector obviously, and it went down the loom. So that's one thing I'm gonna have to check out, but other than that, everything seemed okay on this side. Now that the loom's all out, I'm gonna go ahead and undo the fuel lines to the rail, and then once that's done, I think I'm gonna take off the turbo side cooler pipes. Then I'll do the serpentine belt, unbolt the power steering pump, AC compressor, let them hang in the bay somewhere. And then I think I'll go under the car and try and undo the bell housing bolts. We'll have to see how that goes, I don't know. Might be a bit of a pain, but we'll see, it should be alright. The one thing I hate working with is fuel systems. As soon as you crack it open, they like to leak everywhere. But we'll see how this one goes. Alright, quick update. I've got quite a bit done now. Unfortunately, the lighting's probably just going to go downhill from here because it's getting dark already and it's only like 4:30 p.m. So I've got all the cooler pipe off, cooler pipe out of the way, serpentine belts off, intake, breather lines, O2 sensor, fuel lines are all out. Yeah, like I said previously, looms out of the way. Now I'm going to get under the car, drain the coolant, undo the down pipe and the mid pipe so I can access the drive shaft. I need to undo the drive shaft as well, and transmission cross member. I'll lower the transmission a bit so I can get to the bell housing bolts and loosen them, and then I'll lift the transmission back up into place, and then from there we should be pretty much good to lift this thing out. We'll see how it goes. I've still got to do the power steering pump and AC compressor as well. Still got to just loosen them, move them out of the way. Oh, and take the radiator out as well. So I'll start on the coolant, draining the coolant, get the radiator out, then I'll probably move on to the other stuff. I'll move on to downpipe bolts while the coolant's draining, so we'll get onto that now. Alright, update time. I wish I could be recording more, but it's a bit hard, especially with this lighting, to record and do stuff at the same time. I'll show you where we're up to now. Basically, radiator's out, coolant hoses are disconnected, I've got the compressor out. I was originally going to just leave the compressor in there, but I've got an oil filter relocation just there, and it was going to be hard to bring it all out at once with that compressor in the way. So compressor's out, power steering pump's disconnected. Well, it's unbolted, it's just sitting there. Yeah, basically everything up top now is done. I've got to go underneath, disconnect the exhaust, drive shaft, and lower the trans to be able to get to the bolts, and I'll show you all that in a second here. Alright, well, underneath the car here, it's going to be so hard to show you guys this stuff. These bell housing bolts are going to be a pain in the ass to get to, because I do have transmission cooler lines in the way, custom ones in the way as well. but we'll have to make it work. I've got to disconnect the exhaust from here. Also flex plate bolts are going to come out. They'll come out through the inspection cover. Yeah, it's going to be impossible to show you guys anything in here. Drive shaft right there. That's where I'll loosen that from. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass to do, but we've got to get it done. Alright, I'm back with another update for you guys. According to my calculations and from what I can see, this thing is ready to come out now. As you can see, I've got the engine leveler hooked up. Don't really need it, but I just can't be bothered trying to get the straps to work for now. Hot side's still on, all the piping is disconnected, coolant pipes, everything from this side, as you can see, like I said before, I believe. From underneath, all the bell housing bolts are disconnected or removed. Those were a pain in the ass. I did them up way too tight when I put the engine back in before. So those are out. Flex plate bolts are out. The torque converter bolts, sorry. And yeah, technically this thing should just pull straight out. As you can see, we've got the bonnet off as well now. So I'm going to put you guys on the tripod, a little time lapse, and you can watch me lift it out. Alright, I'm back again. The engine's not out yet. I was having a bit of issues. The engine crane leveler, the brackets on it were bending. I think it's because I wasn't using all 4 of them. That's probably why, but I can't the way the thing is set up at the moment. So I've repurposed the chains off it and everything, and we'll give it a shot now. I'll put you guys on the tripod now for real, and this engine will finally come out. Alright, I'm back and the motor's out, as you would have seen in that little time lapse. Car's back on the ground, absolutely slammed. Yeah, so the bay's, oh, let me get a light real quick. The bay is real empty right now, obviously. I mean, motor's out. I ended up keeping the trans up with some breaker bars wedged in between, underneath the transmission and the power steering rack. So that's how that's in there. Here's the motor on the stand. I will film stripping this motor down to the bottom end, so that you guys can see with me exactly what's gone wrong. I also kind of want to figure out, obviously, why it's happened, because it's no good. I mean, it only lasted 1,300 kilometers before it started knocking. So obviously I want it to last longer than that. So we're gonna strip it down, take it to a machine shop, the shop that did the machining, and he's gonna have a look at everything, inspect everything. He'll be able to tell me exactly what's caused it, so that we avoid this same issue. So yeah, I will film that whole process, stripping down the motor, and then potentially the machine shop inspecting it as well. We'll see about that bit. But yeah, so motor's out, hard work is done. Now it's just getting that thing back into good nick so that it lasts a good amount of time in this car. That's it for now. Stay tuned for the next video. Take care.